90 minutes, a World Cup final, and Argentina did not take a single shot. Not a shot off target, not a shot blocked, nothing. 0 attempts in regulation time, the first team in the history of a World Cup final to do that. And the explanation you were given for it is wrong. Because the story of this final didn't start at kickoff. It started 7 months earlier in a conference room in Washington, D.C., when FIFA published a document that quietly decided what kind of tournament Argentina was about to play. Here's what that document did. Across 8 matches at this World Cup, Argentina played exactly one game that was both outdoors and in the afternoon sun. It was the final, the one they lost. And no, this is not another video telling you the referees stole a tournament. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to show you the advantages Argentina genuinely had, prove every single one of them with a source, and then show you why not one of them explains what happened at MetLife Stadium. There's a number coming about 8 minutes into this video that breaks the entire Argentina had it easy narrative in half. You'll know it when you hear it. And if you want the version of this story with receipts instead of rage, subscribe. That's the whole channel. Let's start with the thing everybody agreed on before a ball was kicked. This World Cup had a heat problem, and it was serious. Researchers modeling 20 years of weather data found that 14 of the 16 host stadiums could pass the wet bulb globe temperature threshold of 28 degrees, the point at which football's own governing bodies say a match should be considered for delay. 4 venues could reach 32, and the study was blunt about when. Afternoons. Outside afternoon hours, the extreme heat drops off sharply at every single host city. So FIFA had a choice to make. And here is the part almost nobody covered. They made it in public, in writing, months before a ball was kicked. Around 20% of matches at this tournament were played inside air-conditioned stadiums, with the air held near 22 degrees. 3 venues had that capability: Dallas, Houston, Atlanta. When the schedule came out after the December draw, the daytime kickoffs were largely assigned to exactly those buildings. The higher-risk open-air venues, Miami, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, were pushed toward evening slots. FIFA also made hydration breaks mandatory in the 22nd and 67th minute of every match at the tournament. Every match, regardless of conditions. So there was a comfort map. 20% of the World Cup sat on the good side of it. Now watch where Argentina landed. 8 matches. Let's go through everyone. Match 1, Algeria, Kansas City. 8 o'clock at night. Open air, but the sun is gone. Match 2, Austria, Dallas. Midday kickoff, 12 o'clock. And this is the one people get wrong. Yes, it was noon. Inside a stadium with a closed roof and air conditioning. Match 3, Jordan, Dallas. 9 at night. Same roof, same air. Match 4, Cape Verde, Miami. 6 in the evening. Open air, the only genuinely exposed slot of the entire run, and the sun is already dropping. Match 5, Egypt, Atlanta. Roof, air conditioning. Match 6, Switzerland, Kansas City. 8 at night. Open air, in the dark. Match 7, England, Atlanta. Roof, air conditioning. 7 matches. 4 of them played indoors at 22 degrees. 3 of them played after the sun went down, or as it was going down. Match 8, Spain, MetLife Stadium. 3 in the afternoon. No roof, no air conditioning. New Jersey in July. 1 afternoon, outdoors, in 8 matches. And it happened to be the one that decided everything. Quick thing before the next part, because I actually want to know. Of everything, I just listed the roofs, the kickoff times, the draw. Which one do you think mattered most? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and the answer people give is almost never the one the data supports. Now I have to stop and take apart 3 things that were repeated in videos with millions of views, including a few things I've seen stated as flat fact. 1. Argentina didn't face a single top 20 team until the final. That's false. Switzerland, their quarter-final opponent, sat at 18th in one compilation of the June FIFA ranking and 19th in another. Top 20 either way. The true version is still brutal. Argentina did not face a single top 15 side before the final. Algeria 28th, Austria 24th, Egypt 29th, Jordan 63rd. Cape Verde 67th. That's real. Use that one. 2. Argentina played in the cool while Spain cooked. Also false, and this one collapses the entire conspiracy framing. Spain played 4 matches in air-conditioned stadiums too. 2 in Atlanta, 2 in Dallas. Exactly the same number as Argentina. If FIFA built a climate-controlled corridor for anyone, they built it for both finalists. 3. 37 degrees for France, 28 for Argentina. I could not find a source for those numbers for any specific match, from anyone. What does exist is the modeling. Late afternoon and early evening kickoffs in Miami and Kansas City carried better than a 30% chance of exceeding the 28-degree wet bulb threshold in a typical summer and over 50% in a hot one. That's the real number, and it's scarier than the invented one. Which brings me to the number I promised you. Add up the straight line distance between the host cities each finalist played in. Argentina, roughly 6,900 kilometers. Kansas City, Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, Kansas City, Atlanta, New Jersey, Spain, roughly 13,200. Spain closed their group in Guadalajara, a different country, then flew to Los Angeles, then Texas, then back to Los Angeles, then back to Texas, then New Jersey, coast to coast, twice, plus a border crossing. Argentina barely left 2 time zones, and they had something no other side in the tournament had. Their base camp was in Kansas City, and 2 of their 8 matches, the opener and the quarterfinal, were played in that exact city. Sleep in your own bed, drive to the stadium, play a World Cup quarterfinal. So let's be honest about the scoreboard here. Less travel, fewer time zones, 2 fixtures at their own base camp. Half the tournament indoors at 22 degrees. No top 15 opponent for 6 straight rounds. And the team that flew twice as far won the final. That's the part the outrage videos can't process. Every structural advantage was real. Every one of them is documented. And they did not decide the match. Which leaves one question. If FIFA spent the entire tournament moving matches away from afternoon heat, why did they put the final at 3 in the afternoon, outdoors in New Jersey? They answered that themselves, publicly when the schedule was announced. 3 in the afternoon on the American East Coast is 9 at night in Central Europe, 8 at night in Britain. Prime time, the single most valuable television window on the planet. And the average 3 o'clock temperature in East Rutherford on the 19th of July, measured across 30 years, is 83 degrees Fahrenheit with a heat index of 89. None of this was hidden. Before the tournament, a senior CONCACAF executive openly described ongoing conversations with European broadcasters about which stadiums could handle a 3 o'clock kickoff at all. Atlanta was named as one of them. It was a scheduling negotiation between weather and television, and everyone involved knew exactly what they were trading. So here's the sentence I want you to sit with. Nobody built that schedule to protect Argentina. Nobody built it to punish them either. It was built to be sold. Argentina spent 6 rounds on the comfortable side of a map that was drawn for broadcast rights, and then the final landed on the other side of that same map for exactly the same reason. 3 o'clock, open air, and Argentina were unrecognizable. 2 shots in 120 minutes, neither on target. 8 touches in Spain's penalty area across the entire match. Spain, 20 shots, 12 on target, 31 touches in the box. Messi finished with 54 touches, and not one of them came inside Spain's penalty area. A man being erased by a shape rather than by a marker. And the only reason the score stayed level long enough for extra time to exist at all was Emiliano Martinez, who made 10 saves. The most ever recorded by a goalkeeper in a men's World Cup final. Think about what that combination actually means. The most protected team in the tournament, least travel, most air conditioning, softest draw, 2 games at their own base camp, produced the least threatening attacking performance in the history of the fixture, and survived as long as it did entirely because of one goalkeeper. Heat didn't do that. A draw didn't do that. A referee didn't do that. Spain did that. The draw was kind. The calendar was kind. The travel was kind. All of it is true. All of it is on the record, and none of it is a conspiracy. And on the one afternoon, Argentina had to create something against a team that was actually organized. They created nothing at all. That's not a stolen tournament. That's a better team. If this changed how you saw that final, hit like. It's the only signal that tells me people want the sourced version instead of the loud one. And if you want to see how Spain actually built that wall, the shape that held the best attack in the world to 8 touches in a box across 120 minutes, that video is right here.